Hello, Hot Vibes, and welcome back to a recap of Last Twilight, episode 7.
Oh, this episode. This episode was just
Yeah,
nice. It was really nice.
it was.
It was just so nice. I loved it. I've loved every fucking part of this episode. It was gorgeous. I was stoned, so I don't remember why, but I loved it. That was
Yeah.
lovely.
No, this episode was really good. I really liked it.
I think this is my favorite episode so far.
I can see that.
I think it is. I genuinely enjoyed it.
Yeah, do you want to just jump right in? Anything, free thoughts? No?
Yeah. I have changed opinions on some characters.
Oh, good. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will get there though.
But anyway, we start off, or it seems like moments after the makeout.
Yeah, it's like right after because they get back in the car.
Yeah, Dave's in the car, he's touching his lips, thinking about it.
Oh my god.
Maul comes in and buckles him up, and he's like, "Oh, geez, like don't get too close to me."
Yeah. It's a moment. He's always like, why are you so close? It's like, I put your seatbelt on every fucking time.
Yeah.
But he's like extra like sensitive now because like he just kissed me.
Yeah, now it's like, ooh, they're the reason. So he's taking them back home. Dave kind of says he can go home, but Maul, before he does, gets him a little hangover drink.
Yeah. Still care about you.
And yeah, just sweet. And he does think about the kiss again. He's like, oh, damn.
He just keeps thinking about the kiss. Honestly, mood.
Yeah.
It's a great kiss.
It was great. So then the next morning, Malk wakes up and him and poor Jai are having breakfast. And he's like, okay, there's something important I need to tell you. And she's like, that sounds scary. And like the fucking music is played up like so dramatic and so like horror vibe.
So stressful.
And then he's just like, I like Day. And she's like, of course you do.
She's like, fucking cry. Is that it? Like, obviously. I love her so much.
Like, oh, I love poor Jai.
She's so funny.
She's
oh
so
my
good.
god.
She's so funny.
She's just great because she's just like, what the fuck, you dumbass? I knew before you knew that.
Yes. Also, it's more prominent later scenes, but you can see she's starting to show.
She is
pregnant by now.
Apparently, it's been like 5 months, and I was like, I did not think it'd been that long.
So she was 2 months when she announced it, right?
So it's been 3 months since then.
Interesting.
Yeah, wow. The time in the show. Like, I never realized, like, the way time passes in BLs. It's just, like, in the background. I'm like, yeah, okay, time passed. But, like, I'm like, oh, time passed. Like, now I'm actually...
Yeah.
Now we have a visual representation of that.
I was going to say, too, we have, like, a pregnancy calendar now to, like, kind of track it.
I swear to God, like, we have to see the baby before the show ends. We have to. Like, I feel like we're gonna.
Well, okay. We're episode 7, and she's 5 months pregnant.
Yeah.
What episode did she reveal she was pregnant?
That's a wonderful idea. Wonderful question.
What episode 4?
Maybe it was like 4 or 5 or something like that.
I'll need to check my thumbnails. I don't know why I said it like that.
I need to check my thumbnail.
That was so random. Oh, it's been one of those days, y'all.
So true.
So
true.
And it's only like, actually now it's like 11 o'clock, but still. We've been doing this since like 9. Yeah, it is 4. It's 4.
Okay, it's 4. Gotcha.
Yeah. So in 3 episodes, it's been 3 months. So
maybe a month per episode then? Jesus.
So in theory, 9 months is when you have a baby.
In theory.
In theory. In theory. Sometimes it's earlier. Sometimes it's earlier.
Sometimes it's earlier. Sometimes it's later.
Baby. We don't know.
Yeah.
So that's 4 months away. So we're episode 7.
Mm.
So 4 plus 7 is 11. Right?
Yeah. We should see the baby. If it stays to its linear number system, then yes. But if not, I bet we're gonna see it anyway. We have to.
I feel like we will.
Yeah. It feels like it's gonna be a thing.
Yeah. I also feel like she's more of a, like, she's like a character. She has a role. Like, obviously, when the babies do, it's gonna be a plot point.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's funny that Malk asks, like, oh, if she's okay with it, like, that he likes Day.
Because she's his ex, so, like, it's considerate, I guess.
Yeah, she was also whole ass engaged to another dude. Like, I think they're okay. And she didn't tell him about it.
No.
He found out.
He fully found it. Yeah, I like that she's just like, yeah, I'm like envious as your ex, but like I'm not envious of you, dumb bitch. I'm envious of the fact
Yeah.
that Day can make you smile the way he does. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's so cute. I love her.
Yeah. And then there's this whole like back and forth where she's like, "Oh, but don't tell him because you know you work for him and it's weird. Like you didn't tell him, right?" And he's like, "I did not tell him." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "I did not tell him at all."
I did
Which
not
is
say
true.
words. Yes, I did not tell him with words.
Because it's true. He did not tell him he liked him. He just made out with him.
You did not tell him. That is very
Yeah.
true. Well done.
Yes, loopholes.
Loophole.
So then with Day, G calls him. And she kind of said like she knows that August and him had a fight, but don't know what it's about. And said that she should probably try to like talk it out with him because he doesn't have much time.
No. Evidently, he's going somewhere.
Yeah, because we cut to later with Day and Mork, where Day tells Mork that August is moving to the States.
Wow, for like a special badminton thing, probably.
Yeah, well, yeah, he had like a whole interview later. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mork's like, okay, well, let's go talk to him. And they're like, I don't know if I can talk nicely to him right now. And Mork's like, I don't care. Let's just go. Have him. You can yell at him all you want.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm taking you to yell at him. You need to get this out. Yell.
Mork was so banking on the fact that they would just like cause a scene and yell at him. He so wanted that to happen.
I feel like Day was like fully gonna as well, but then he was like, ah. But then he said nice things.
Yeah, so they do get there. August is having his like press conference thing. And the interview keeps like asking him questions and asks about like, oh, like, what about your past partner who you used to play with? He says that his past partner who he played doubles with is a lot stronger than he is.
Aw.
Yeah. And it was him who was weak and let him down.
Damn.
It wasn't him.
A point was made.
I was gonna say, yeah, a lot of what August says here is very seems very much apologetic, and then he apologizes actually later. But like, yes. Yeah, and then he even says like, any victory I conquer now is for like the both of us, because he knows he can't play anymore. Sweet.
This is very nice, actually. Yes.
And it also makes it better because later we have G and August talking, and August didn't realize they were there.
No, he didn't. Like, he said that because he meant it.
I think, which makes it better too, because it makes it more honest, because he never saw him there, he didn't know, so.
Yeah, he was just saying it, like, actually saying it.
It was genuine, which you can tell.
Exactly.
And then Day does come over with Mork, and Day says he was going to yell at him, but after hearing all those cheesy things that he said, he can't do it.
He's like, darn, you've won me back.
Yeah. So August does apologize for what happened, and Day returns his headband and says, you play it, so that way, like, it's like we're playing together still.
That's nice. I'm glad he returned the headband, because it's like, no, please take it. Like, I don't want it. And also, honestly, I'm glad because, like, I feel like it would have made him sad, like, to have a headband and not really use it.
Yeah, like, it was a good, like, letting go moment. I think.
It was. Very much so.
Yeah. So they put the headband on August, and then August mentioned that, hey, I won't be able to help you run anymore, so you need to find someone else. And G is wondering, she's like, you're not talking about me, right? And he's like, no, like, I'm talking about Mork, like, please take care of him.
He's like, right there. And I was like, oh.
Looks like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, okay, like, he's better, like, never mind. It was a lapse, I'm sorry.
I told you, August is not a bad person.
I would like to apologize to August today. I've been doing that for the last, like, 2 weeks. I feel like I'm watching a show, and every single episode of a show I watch, I go, I would like to formally apologize to this character, blank. So...
Well, it happened last week with Knight.
It did.
You had to apologize to him. This week, it's August.
Christ. And it's also, honestly, it's a fucking another character, too, to be honest. This was a week of apologies, I think.
Hey, wait, in this episode or the next episode?
The next one.
Yeah, I knew it! I knew it!
Christ.
And I really like when Day, August, and G, they go to take a selfie together, and August makes Day do it.
Yeah, he's like, you do it.
Which,
He's like, why me?
which again, that I think really cemented the whole like the
did.
fact from where he's treating him like he is
Like a normal
before.
person. Exactly. I like that.
Yeah. That was like a really sweet moment for me. I really like that.
I'm a fan. This was really nice. I'm sorry.
Damn. So then,
actually, wait. Another thing I just remembered from watching it. I think that was the scene where I was like genuinely gonna start crying.
Wait, when August was like, "Hey, you take the picture," then
it wasn't even just that; it was the whole fucking scene. Like I was like, I think I was fully gonna start crying. Like maybe it was the weed, but I was watching this and I was like, "It's really nice." I'm so sorry.
Damn, I thought it was the ending scene.
No, it really wasn't. It was fully this one, but I really love the ending scene, so I don't know why it was this one, but it was.
So then later, Malk, Day, and G are on their own, and Day tells Malk to get him some coffee, and when Malk asks what kind, he says anything. Which almost immediately I knew was
just
Dave's
get me any coffee. Because he looked at G and he looked at me, he was like, you need me coffee? Like, it was very much like, go away. Which, side note, did Mock hear this entire conversation? Because he says something later that assumedly means he did.
What?
I swear to God, Day's talking to G in this part, and he says something very specific, and then Mock brings it up later, and I'm like, did you hear that whole conversation?
Oh, I'm gonna talk about that.
Good, because I'm curious. What the fuck this meant?
Well, no, I'm gonna talk about it for a different reason.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, I'm watching it now, and it does seem like Malk actually like walks away and turns the corner.
Yeah, he like that's what I figured. He fully leaves. So like, how did he hear any of this? Because he says,
I know it. I think maybe Day tells him that himself. I don't know.
Was it the warm and wasn't it like you like a warm and nice guy or something like that? Oh, yeah. By the way, I did want to fucking point out, what is with BLs and microwaves?
Well, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring that up because I don't know if this was a reference to the eclipse or not, but I'm just saying, this is 2 times in this episode it talks about being warm like a microwave.
Fucking
nothing like a cup of coffee.
Did he mention a cup of coffee as well?
No, I mean he told him to get coffee, but he doesn't say.
He tells him to get coffee. Yeah. But I was watching this, I was like, what? Fuck, again with the microwave? This is like, we're gonna add it to like the microwave trilogy. We're gonna have this. We're gonna, or it's a double now, but we need a third to make it a trilogy.
Like, I don't know if that's just like maybe a reference to the eclipse, or if it's a common saying in Thailand.
Maybe it's a fucking common saying, because I'm like, what is it?
I don't know, but I like it and I appreciate it, and that's 2 points for microwave.
And because this is what I noticed. This is what I noticed later. I think he says like you want someone like a microwave, like
yeah,
warm,
Mark
like
mentions it too.
And I'm like, either you just say y'all are saying the same thing, or you heard this. Like, what? I don't even know.
Maybe it's just how connected they are.
Maybe
that
that's
they both
it.
compare to microwave.
That's so true. Well, G's the one who says microwave.
Well, G says that you always say you want someone warm like a microwave.
Okay, yeah. Well, then maybe they're just like super connected, which I won't put it past.
But yeah, so Day does tell G everything that happened, and he does say that Malk isn't really his type, and G's like, well, maybe on the inside he is warm like a microwave. You don't know.
You don't know. Maybe he is. Oh no.
And I do like that she does kind of tell him to make things clear, like,
yeah,
otherwise it's just gonna be really awkward.
She also says you have to fire him if. I'm like, I understand why, but don't do that.
But also, I kind of agree with her.
I do kind of agree with her, because then it's like very much, I mean, technically abuse of power, but we've gotten to this point where whatever he's doing, it probably doesn't feel like a job to him anymore.
Yeah, there's one of the like weird, like non-official job.
Exactly, because he gets paid for it, but like he goes there every day going, I don't care. Like, hi, Day. Like, he doesn't fucking give a shit if he gets paid now. Like, he probably cares that he wants to save up for the car, but now it's not about that. It's about being with Day, I think.
So then they get in the car together, and they both try to talk about what happened last night. And Day kind of goes first, and he says, "I'm sorry, but you are not my type."
No, and Mock's fucking face looks so heartbroken.
He is so sad.
He looks like a kicked puppy. I'm like, don't cry.
I was just gonna say he looked like a kicked puppy.
He looked like a kicked puppy. Like, he literally looks exactly like a kicked puppy.
Oh.
It's the watery eyes for me. Like, he is about to cry.
His eyes start. No, that was the part. Like, ooh, don't.
Oh, he's like holding it in. I'm like, oh no, this is so sad. And Dave probably like fully knows like what he's feeling because like he takes a while to go, I understand. He's like, oh no.
It's fine. I'll quit then.
Yeah.
And Dave's like, no, don't do that.
It's like, whoa. Whoa. Can't you just like forget about it?
Yeah. And he's like, look, if we can still go back to the way it was, then it's fine. But if you cross the line and hit on me, you're fired.
Depends on what you fucking mean, because everything he does for you sometimes, somehow feels like flirting.
Mark is such a little shit this episode.
He is.
He literally dances on that line every single time for the rest of this episode.
So it's like, oh, should I go and get this for you, or is that considered crossing the line?
So good.
This bitch.
And then he even tries to buckle him up again, and Dave's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm doing what I normally do. Is this considered crossing the line?
Yeah, why? Is this crossing the line? He's so funny.
Oh, they're so good. So then, before they go running, On and Plot are stretching, and Day said that G's coming to help run with him.
She was never gonna fucking do that.
Oh, 100%. I called what was happening from like a mile away. I was like, she's gonna call, she's gonna cancel, and Mock's gonna fill in, and literally step by step that happens.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't anymore. Don't you have someone there that can help you? Oh my god.
I love how butthurt Mock is though, because he's always like, he's like, well, August told me to do it. I'm just saying, but like,
I mean, hello. Like, I'm technically the second middle, but like, if you want me to be the third, whatever. You're the third option.
And so then Day gets a call from G, and this is where she cancels. And then Day says like, hey, like maybe I can join another race. I can't really do it if G's not here. And On says, no, you have to join this race no matter what.
This one, you have to be there, which I did not pick up on.
I didn't pick up on it till later.
Yeah. I didn't pick up on it at all.
Oh.
Not even a little. Until he was down on one knee did I realize, oh!
I called it later before it happens.
Oh my god. I saw nothing. I thought they were fucking injured or something. I was so worried. They're like, where are they? Shouldn't they have finished first? And I was like, oh god, someone's fallen. People were running. Oh my god.
But you see them run past them. They would have ran in, like,
you would think. I worried they, like, fell down a cliff or some shit. But then, like, I saw people running to a certain place going, oh, and they were like, oh, something's going on over there. Should we go see? I was like, oh no, are they injured on the side of the path? And people are like, are you okay? Nothing. Not a single instance did I think, oh, this is what's happening.
Anyway, so Mock essentially tells Day, like, hey, if you want us to be the same, we can just run together.
Hell yeah.
And Day's like, fine.
Fine, I'll give in. It's like, look, yes. I'm just helping you.
Yeah.
So?
And he gives him his headband that he fixed.
There you go. Fix the headband, which I would still like to point out, whether I liked August or not when this came out, that's a stupid idea. Use something different than the headband.
This time I was more worried it was going to break again because it already broke once, and odds are the fabric is not as strong as it was before.
Yeah.
Or whatever you fix it with.
True. Maybe the fabric's not as strong, but the seam will be stronger, which maybe is what broke on it before. Oh. It could have broken at the seam, so when he sewed it back, the seam is probably stronger, judging by the fact that it's now a new seam and not one that he's had for the whole time beforehand. Sewing.
So what would you use instead if you don't want a headband?
I mean, holding hands is always an option.
Okay, but what if it was like an actual an actual guided runner and a blind runner? Like no romantic feelings there. Like an actual just his guide and caretaker.
Something that is like has the same kind of stretch as a rubber band, but is really thick. Like maybe for that, like plastic, thick, stretchy. I hated that sentence, but like.
Okay.
We talked about one of those in the last one.
Yeah, we did. Watch
But
the Eighth Sense, everyone.
watch the no.
Fuck. Every time, watch. What is it? Sense8?
Yeah.
Watch Sense8. Oh my god, and watch me misname it every single time.
Every single time. This will be very fun. I can't believe we've done both the Eighth Sense and Sense8. Now we're gonna fucking ruin this.
I am just so grateful you put My School President in between the two, because had you not, I would have been fucked.
It would have been like, absolutely fucked.
It would have been way worse.
Jesus. No. I would say to use something like a bar. A bar would be good, like a little bar. So they could each hold on to the bar and then like go through.
I like the idea of the rubber bit where it's like, or the headband where you can like wrap your hand around it and like you can have it like where it's stretchy, so it's like you're not like so stiff with running with it like a bar would be.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was like I was thinking like along like the rubber band line too.
I don't really know, because there's this movie that I watched called 5 Feet Apart, and they couldn't be within 5 feet apart of each other because they had cystic fibrosis, and they were holding like opposite ends of a broom, and they were walking together, so it was like they were holding hands, but they were on opposite sides of the broom. So I was thinking of something along the lines of that, but just shorter, you know.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm not a runner or blind. So.
Me neither. So they run with the headband again. They're a bit bumpy. They're not really in sync.
Yeah.
So they sit down, and Mark's like, I know the issue. It's your shoes, because they're the one August gave you, and they're not mine. So I'm going to go get the ones I had in my bag this whole time.
The whole time.
Throw it on your feet, and now we're going to be fine.
He's like, no. You need the special shoes. The shoes that I lovingly put back together with the little Hobie flower on the side. Okay?
Yeah. Also, I'm so stupid. I realized the laces are neon because he can see it better.
Yeah, you can see it better. Isn't that cute?
I did not realize that before.
Oh my god. I kind of realized it a little bit. I was like, bright colors. But like my brain was like, after I watched the second episode, I was like, bright colors so he can do things. So, like all connected.
I think I put it together when he was like looking at the drink, like it was like a bright green color.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and then the shoelace. I was like, yes.
The shoes.
So then after they run, they are back home, and Dave's like, you're done for the day, and Mark's like, all right, are you sure you don't want a massage? And Dave's like, no.
Massage.
So Mark starts to leave, but as Dave stretches, he's like, wait, I need a massage, I got a cramp.
Ow!
And then Mark's like, wait, I don't know if I should help you, because, it might be crossing the line, and I don't want to do that.
He's like, fucking help me!
It's so good.
I love it. It's so funny. He's like, oh, gee, I wouldn't want to cross the line and get fired. I gotta be careful, dude.
Yeah. No, it's for your job. And then they asks Mark to read him Last Twilight again. And Mark's like, I don't know. I mean, technically I work on my hours today, but if my boss asked really nicely, I might be able to squeeze it in.
If you, like, beg.
Yeah, he made him beg.
If you beg, then maybe.
Yeah. So he starts reading, and it gets to the point where he says, after discovering that she was only seen in direct sunlight, me began pursuing the sun.
That's so pretty.
Yeah.
I love.
Which I'm wondering, what is the sun in this aspect?
I thought that too when I was watching it. I was like, because I figured that Day was me in this sense. So.
Yeah, Day seems to be me. I thought running was the sun, but now I'm thinking maybe Mark. Or is Mark the shadow? Because later there's a thing where it's like step towards the shadow, and that's when Day steps towards Mark and accepts. So is Mark the shadow, or is he the sun? And is running the sun?
Those are two very opposite things.
I know, that's why I'm confused. And then there's a little montage where Mark's putting cream on Day's foot,
And Knight
And
notices.
Knight walks by and sees them tickling each other, and he's like,
Yes, he
yes.
And he smiles, and I was like, oh, okay, thank you. He's like,
I love Knight.
yeah,
He's great.
so do I. I think he just
He's so
genuinely wants to be in his life, but he can't, so he's doing it from afar.
he knows that Day is happier without him in his life.
Oh, that's sad.
And that's why he's always like, oh no, I want to celebrate with him. No, I'll leave when he's around. Is because he knows it makes him happy, and that's what he wants.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet, but it's so sad.
I hope they. I'm sure they will, but I can't wait for them to like make up and everything like that.
That's gonna be so nice.
That's gonna be satisfying. Maybe I'll cry during that.
Oh, you probably will.
I'll be stoned and cry. It's fine. It's my general.
So then that night, Day seems to be asleep after Mulk finishes reading.
Yeah, okay.
But he called him on being fake, and he's like, oh, you're faking sleeping, you're faking sleeping.
You little liar.
And then he's about to leave, but he's like, wait, if you really are asleep, I can say whatever I want.
I can say whatever.
And he says, sweet dreams, long Day, and then rubs his head.
I know he knows he was not asleep, because at one point he does go, oh, you're actually asleep. But I don't think he believes that for a second.
No, he didn't believe it.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to open his eyes.
Honestly, at first I thought when Mulk got up and left and Day would like freak out, like hugging his pillow and everything, I thought it was gonna cut to Mulk still being there watching.
I fully thought that too, but like I literally rewound the end of that like 3 times because it was fucking precious. I just kept rewinding and going, he's so cute. He's just like hugging his what a mood, honestly, when you have a crush just like screaming into your pillow. It's fucking adorable.
Yeah,
that was
Dave's definitely getting the feels now.
He's getting the feels now. The smile was like, that's so love it.
So I think we will take a break here, and when we come back, we will be spending the night at Mulk's house.
Yeah, hell yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah, interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so we will be right back. And we are back with our recap of Last Twilight episode 7.
The best episode.
Yes. So we are back with practicing running again. Mulk and Day make it with Pla and An. And Pla wants to know where they're staying because she was wondering if they can go together. And Mulk and Day have no idea what they're talking about. And An's like, so I forgot to mention this.
Oops.
Apparently, it's so far away. The event starts at 5 a.m.
Oh my god.
And you need to be close by to, make it.
Yeah. Jesus, 5 a.m. I did a 5K for Universal Studios, and I think it started at I think the earliest it started was 7, maybe 6. It was light outside, that's all I remember. But I did have to leave early to get there on time.
Yeah. I did a walk for hunger when I was in high school. And it was it was like a 20K or something.
20, fucking hell.
It was all day. Yeah. And I think I want to say I got up at 6 or something to go to the train station to take us to the place where it's actually being held. And I didn't get back to 5 o'clock or something.
Damn. I don't remember when I got back, but it was cold. I remember that, so it must have been held in the winter. It was cold for me. It was 50 degrees. But I was in shorts and a shirt, so I was because I figured I'm running, so I'll get warmed up. But my whole circulation problem in my legs, I have a weird circulation problem where I think it's because I don't work out enough that my legs just start itching like crazy if I walk for an extended period of time. I think 20 minutes of walking or 5 minutes of running, they'll start to itch like crazy. It'll be painful.
Really?
All down my leg. And so I would stop periodically to sit down for 5 minutes and then get back up and then keep walking. So it took me longer than other people, but it was still fun because you got to run through the back lots and run through the rides and movie sets and stuff like that. Not the rides, but the studio tour area where you go through all the different backlot areas Little Europe, where The Good Place was filmed and stuff like that. We'd run through everything. It was so much fun. I've never, you don't really get that option every once in a while to get off of the studio tour tram to stand like in the Psycho set just to be like, eh. So like it was really fun, but like it took me a while because I'm not good at the exercising thing, but I like 5Ks. It's weird. Like I'll go and I'll run, and after I'm done, I'll just get like, woohoo! I fucking did it! Like I don't usually do it, but 5Ks for some reason I really enjoy.
Yeah. I only did my Walk for Hunger thing because it gave me 10 hours of community service, and it was enough for me to graduate.
Oh hell yeah, I'd rather do that.
So I did it. It was one painful day, but I was able to not do any more community service for the rest.
Fuck yeah. Like honestly, I'd rather do that than go to class.
Yeah.
But I got a medal at the end of it, which was really nice. It was like a silver medal.
Oh, participation medal?
It was a participation medal for sure.
Yeah.
But it had a dinosaur from Jurassic Park going, ah! It's very cool.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't get a medal.
Oh damn. But you got graduation.
I did, yeah. Yeah, so On's kind of being like, sorry, I forgot to tell you. And everything's probably booked now. Oh well.
Oops.
And Mock's like, I know a place.
I was like, I bet you it's his fucking out.
Yeah.
Waiting for it.
And sure enough, Mock takes Day back home. And poor Jai's there, and she's like, oh, hey, come in. Like, let's get food together.
This is when you first notice her belly, I think. That it's bigger.
I noticed it in the first scene.
I did. I noticed it very slightly, but I'm like, maybe I could be like overseeing things because she's sitting down. But
yeah, like I saw it and I was like, maybe I'm not gonna say anything in case I'm wrong. But then this scene we see it more. I'm like, okay, so that is
I was
true.
like, oh wow, yeah, she has definitely grown.
Yeah, and Mock's explaining what the food is and where it all is, and kind of explain that our dishes are not as good as his because he's poor and Day's not. And it's telling him where everything is.
That does not matter.
Yes.
Cooking does not know price, even though some people like to put a price on it. Like, all ingredients start the same.
That's true, but it's how you do it, and rich people tend to do it better, I guess.
No, that's stupid. No, because you have money, you cook better? Bullshit. No. And what matters is what you put into the recipe and how you make it. And
unless you get better ingredients.
Yeah, but in my opinion, they all taste the same. Unless you buy, like, fucking caviar or some shit. That's different. But like, if you're making something with like all different kinds of like regularly occurring vegetables, I fully don't believe that one tastes better than the other if it's the same fucking vegetable.
Well, it is depending on how it's grown and where it's grown from and what the soil is like and how well it was. Like, I feel like there are factors that are into that. Like, yeah,
maybe, but money doesn't make you a better cook.
No, but it gives you more time to practice.
Yeah.
So you don't need to work.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm defending this. That's a weird double advocate.
Yeah, why are
I don't
we
really
like
care that much.
like no.
I honestly don't really care that much, and I don't really care one way or the other. And I don't know why I'm defending that. I don't know. Yeah, but poor Jai did call him Mock's cooking. Says that when she's away, is she really helping Day, or is he practicing to become a cook?
Yeah.
This food's getting better.
Because he keeps cooking and making things really nice. Suddenly he doesn't make the shit coffee anymore, hopefully.
That's good.
Maybe he still makes shit coffee, but he can cook now.
Yeah, make food. Then poor Jai says, like, oh, Day, I bet you like someone who has like great cooking skills. Trying to hit at things. And Day's kind of like, no, that stuff doesn't really matter all that much to me. And she's like, okay, well, what about someone who's bad? Definitely
wink, wink.
Laying it on thick.
Wink, wink. Someone who's bad, huh?
She is the worst wing woman ever.
She's trying so hard. She's like, hey, he's right
there. And then Mock says, they told me he likes someone warm and nice.
Like a walking microwave. And I'm like, sir, did you hear that conversation?
Walking microwave.
Maybe it's just that Day literally tells everyone that. Because both him and G said that in a way that was like, you always tell me you want someone like this. So, and now Mock's saying he always told me he wants someone like this. So maybe it's just that Day keeps repeating, I want someone like a walking microwave. And so maybe he didn't hear the whole conversation. I fully thought he did. I was like, he heard the conversation. How? I didn't see him.
Yeah.
I guess Day is just telling everyone.
Yeah, no, I think Day told everyone he wants someone like a microwave.
Interesting. Maybe he watches the eclipse.
I'm just saying, I stand by it. Microwave is better than coffee.
No.
Yes. It's mentioned twice in this one episode, not to mention the one time in the eclipse. That's 3 mentions of warm like a microwave. There's only been 1 of warm like coffee. My team microwave is winning here.
Okay, it's winning in mentions, but in heart, it's coffee.
No, it's mentioned because it's heart.
I fucking love coffee though.
Too bad. Team microwave for the win. FTW.
No.
Hashtag.
Christ.
But then they says, that doesn't really matter as long as I'm comfortable with him. He doesn't need to be so warm.
Oh, so we're changing our tune. Mr. Screams into my pillow.
Yes. And then the worst wing woman, poor Jai, is like, "Oh, Mock, are you smiling right now? You seem to be smiling at that right now." I'm like, what is like?
She's so funny.
So bad.
She's so fucking funny because she says that and he's just like, no.
That is so like that. I mean, I love her for that, but I also like hate her for that. I'm like, what are you doing? You're blowing his cover.
I love it because she's just like, fucking make out already. Like, honestly, she's done with the waiting and she's just going straight for the jugular.
Yeah. And then later, poor Jai and Day are having some mango, I think.
Yeah, it's like white mango or something like that.
And Day apparently knows that poor Jai is pregnant.
Yes.
Because Malk told him.
Also, can we point out, because right before that, apparently there's jasmine in the garden and that Malk just started planting it.
Oh my god.
Recently?
He is such a loser. I fucking love
him. He's so in love. He's like, oh, what if he comes over? He's got to smell the jasmine.
She literally says, oh, he planted them recently.
Yeah.
Like, he fucking knew there would be a moment where Day would come over and he would get him to smell the jasmine.
God, this man is in love. Capital L.
Damn. Capital O-V-E.
Capital O-V-E. Capital everything. Capital I-N-L-O-V-E.
Capital all of it. And so poor Jai has Day feel her belly.
Yeah.
And he says, like, oh, do you have any names yet? And she's like, well, I have some. One is me from Last Twilight.
Oh my god, he's like, you know the book?
And she's like, yeah, of course. Like, I mean, like, Mo comes over and reads it all day. Like, he practiced reading here before he reads it to you.
I love that she told him this. Like, that's so cute. I'm sorry. I needed that.
Again, it's blowing his cover.
It is.
But, like, I also love, like, I'm just like, oh my god, like.
It's blowing his cover, but also it's showing Day that he's being really fucking warm, like a microwave. Like, he really.
Yeah.
It's like, look at all the warm shit he's doing. He's practicing so that he reads it well when he reads it to you. Like, damn, that's love.
And then poor Jai brings up Rung, because apparently Rung was the only person who could get Mock to read. And it seems like she tells Day the story about what happened with her.
Yeah, she pretty much tells him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Then later that night, Day is out on the little balcony porch thing. And Malk comes out. And Day kind of brings up the fact that poor Jai told him about his sister. And he does say, like, he didn't really want to keep a secret from you. He just didn't want people to think badly about his sister for what she did.
Yeah. He was never, like, fully gonna, like, keeping any secrets or anything like that. It's just he didn't like to talk about it, you know? He didn't want her to kind of become what she did, kind of.
Yeah. And then there is a moment where their hands are touching and Day kind of moves away, but Malk moves it towards his hand to touch it.
These two. The way he stares at him is, like, full of so much love in his eyes. For the love of God.
Yeah.
He's, like, gone.
So then, that night, they are in bed, and Malk gives Day a blanket. He smells it and kind of says, like, hey, it smells like you.
Damn. It smells like you. Yeah, you don't say that if you're not fucking into someone. Like, you know what he smells like? My man.
Well, we also, okay, I will say in Day's defense, he is known for smelling a lot.
That's a very good point as well.
Like, he does smell everything a lot to kind of get the scent of it.
He does.
And because he spent so much time with Malk, it would make sense he knows his scent.
True. It's just the way he went, oh, yeah, this is definitely yours. I know your scent very well.
Yeah. And then Malk brings him a bowl of jasmine again. He's like, oh, that smells so nice.
My God. These two.
Then they go to sleep.
Yeah, but the moment. Okay, we need to talk about the moment.
Oh, sorry. The moment where
I'm sorry, it's not just like, oh, he smelled jasmine and then they go to sleep. No. He smelled jasmine and then he was gonna have Mock smell the jasmine and then they fully stare for like the jasmine is like right fucking here and they just stare each other down for like a good however long. I was frozen in that. Like my breath, I could feel it. I could feel it slowing down. Like it seems longer than it seems shorter than it was, to be fair. But while I was stoned and watching it downstairs, I was like, my breath is also being held. Like I can't. Oh my God.
So then they go to sleep, they try to, because apparently, Monk's neighbor boyfriend came over.
Christ.
And they don't waste any time.
Christ. It's so fucking annoying because I was sitting there and I think the garbage truck had just gone by or it was going by at the same time. And my mom was sitting downstairs too. We were all sitting there watching the television. She wasn't really fully watching, but I was. And the garbage truck came by at the most opportune moment. But I heard these noises ever so slightly coming from the television. But I didn't think they were. I was like, what's wrong with the fucking garbage truck? It sounds very squeaky. And then like 2 seconds later, like I was like, oh no. And I like turned it all the way fucking down. I was like, no. I fully thought it was a garbage truck for a second. It was the most perfect timing, but Christ. That is quite the situation. But it leads to cute shit.
Okay, I was confused because I'm like, wait, who is that? And my first thought was, is that poor Jai? No. And I was because like I didn't realize that like from like literally a house and another house away, you could really hear like the walls are that thin.
They're that thin.
Hear that, but apparently that's the case.
Good God.
And then Mark starts coming to his ears, and he's like, "Hey, you're a child. You don't need to listen to that." and they're like, "You shouldn't either." And Mark's like, "I'm an adult. I can listen to it. It's fine."
Oh my God. These two, I swear to God, they're being.
And they start fooling around trying to cover each other.
And we make it to the run, and it's sponsored, if you notice on the signs, by GMMTV.
I noticed that like the very end. I noticed that like at the very end.
I gotta be honest with you, I didn't notice it at all, and then I have it pulled up, and I just went, "Oh fuck!"
Oh, great.
So I just noticed it now.
Yes. But something I also didn't know before. I don't know if you did. It's the Bangkok Run for the Blind, 2023.
2023.
Did you know it was a Run for the Blind, or
I just knew it was a run.
Okay, same.
So
Mock and Day go and greet On and Pla, and Day's obviously tired. Pla's like, "Oh, you don't seem like very like upbeat. You know, you don't look like you slept." And Day, phrasing, says Mock's neighbors were doing the bam bam in the ham all night.
What a phrase. What a phrase.
Bam bam in the ham.
Should we just fucking change our hot damn to that?
Bam bam in the ham.
Hello, bam bam in the ham vibes.
Bam bam in the ham vibes.
No.
Bam vibes?
No. But I find it funny. I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say?
It's funny because I didn't, in the previous scene when Monk's like, "Oh, you're a child, you shouldn't listen to this," I was like, well, he's in the university, not that young. But phrasing it as bam bam in the ham, I'm like, oh, he's a child.
Never mind, he's a fucking child.
He is 5 years old. Yeah,
but then again, cut to me in our last episode trying to describe a dildo.
That is a good point. You are also 5 years old. you and Day are both 5 years old.
Very true. Honestly, I knew that.
Yeah. And we do see Knight recording this interaction or taking pictures of this interaction.
I was like, what are you doing? Like, there was still some stupid lingering doubt, even though I completely forgave him in the last one. My brain is very slow to change. So like, I was like, why are you recording this? And I went, oh, he's probably just being nice. Never mind.
Well, poor Jai comes over and asks the same thing. She's like, what are you doing? And Knight says, oh, I'm just taking pictures of him so he can remember, which is something we know he wants, and he does.
So he's doing this nice thing for him because he knows he wants to do it, and he's doing more Then Day even realizes, I think.
Yeah. She's like, oh, well, why are you taking like this? You look weird just taking from the bush. Like, come on, let's go over. And that's immediately like, no.
Like, no, I don't want to ruin the excitement.
And then Knight's quickly to notice her stomach. And she's quickly to defend, oh, it's not what you think.
No,
It's
no.
not Mox.
It's not Mox. It's not Mox. Like, immediately.
Yes, it's from her ex, and she says she is single now.
Yeah, she just fully goes, no, that's from my ex. I'm single. And he's like, what? And she's like, I'm not flirting.
Her and Mog are like the least subtlest people out there.
Very true. I see why they're friends. They're both not subtle.
Yeah. And Knight's kind of like, what, were you just like hitting on me? And then before she can really answer, he's like, oh no, I'm just kidding.
These two, I swear. I love them already.
Oh, I fucking love them.
I'm in.
I love them so. Also, it's funny, I saw on Twitter, and someone said, I don't know what's gonna freak out Night and Day's mom more. The fact that Day is dating his ex-con caretaker, or the fact that Night's gonna be dating a woman who's pregnant with another man's child.
Oh. Mom is gonna be like, fucking Christ. Really?
She's gonna be like, I don't know what to do about this.
I don't know what to do. What do I do?
So, Mark gives Day his little number. He's number 75. And then he goes to get him water, and he runs into his mechanic friend.
Yes, I completely forgot who he was at the moment. I was watching this. I was like, I know you. Why do I know you? But I remember.
And he's like, oh, hey, like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm just taking him out for a run. And he's like, oh, have you thought about what you're going to do once you pay off the car? And he's like, not really. And he's like, well, when you get tired of this caretaking job, I have a friend who's like a mechanic and looking for someone. And he's like, great, I'll let you know. And Day hears all of that.
He hears all of that. I was like, no! Like, I mean, like, he literally was 2 seconds away from him, so I was like, I hope nothing bad is said. And then, like, right when he starts saying it, about, like, oh, once you get tired of I was like, shit, no. I was so upset.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that when they're about to start running, Day's very, like, cold towards Malk now.
Yeah.
He's upset. And they start running. They run. And every time Malk tries to talk to Day, he's not answering.
No.
Eventually, Malk kind of makes them stop so he can talk to Day.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, I can't do this anymore. We're, like, stone cold silence as we're going.
Yeah, and Day kind of says, like, well, I'm just learning to take care of myself because you're going to leave anyway because you're doing this just for the car, right?
But he doesn't really. I was literally sitting here like, let him talk! I was like, Day, I love you, but for the love of God, let him say his piece.
Yeah. And then they said, like, oh, I shouldn't have crossed that line.
No. Let him say. Let him say he likes you.
And this is where, On and Plot catch up. He's like, oh, what are you guys doing? And they're just like, oh, like, you go on ahead, we'll catch up. And this is where On says, come on, get to the finish line or you'll miss something great. And that was a moment I was like, wait, is he gonna propose to her?
I had no fucking idea. I was just like, oh, I wonder what he meant by that. Maybe he might cross the finish line or something. I had no fucking idea.
So Malk and Day continue to run. And eventually, Malk stops them again.
Right before the finish line.
Yes, 50 meters away. And he says, look, I'm not playing games anymore. We are 50 meters away. When we cross the line, I'm going to ask you to be my boyfriend.
Ah! No, because when he said that, I lost my fucking mind. I was sitting there as he was counting, going, I don't know. What a good scene. This scene is so far my favorite in the show, I think.
It's so good.
It's so good. And this is a great way to be like, hey, no, I'm in this. Like, I want this. Like, this is not just, oh, I'm waiting until I have enough money to pay off the car. But I'm fully going to ask you at the end of this to be my boyfriend because I care that much. Like, I'm not, it's not just me leaving. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. And so as they run, they get closer. Malk crosses the finish line, but Day does not. He stops. He kind of pulled under bands.
Oh my god, they're like frozen there. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. He let go. My mom was watching it too with me at this point. And she was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, this is bad.
Bad. Expectation subversion. I knew they'd do that. Thank God.
But then he steps forward.
He steps forward.
And crosses the line.
He crosses the line. Oh my god, I didn't even realize this fully crossing the line.
Yeah, and he hugs him.
Yeah, but Muck was so excited. The smile on his face. You could tell he was so relieved. I was about to cry. I swear to God.
It's so good. And then Malk asks him, like, hey, are you gonna be my boyfriend? And Day says, well, we both just crossed a line.
It's on right now, so now I'm like sitting here going. Oh my god, I love him. I love him so much. This is fucking great. I love how poor Jai as well is just like, yeah! Up to the side.
Purjai and Knight are there. They're cheering along too. And Purjai asks to take Day's photo so she can capture both of them in the same photo.
Yeah. Which I like that she's trying to push them to be closer to each other as well. She's like, no. Be in the same photo as your sibling. And she like just met him too. It's adorable.
Yeah, and she had no idea about the issue there.
Yeah.
Grant, neither do we. We just know there is an issue.
Yeah, we just know there's something going on.
And Purjai's like, oh, are you gonna come celebrate with us? And Knight says, no, I don't want to be a third wheel. And she's like, what, you know about them? And he's like, obviously.
Duh, they're not subtle.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I should probably go too. And he's like, oh, do you want to ride? And if it were, she's like, oh, are you flirting? No, I'm just kidding.
Just kidding.
So they kind of have that little banter back.
They're so cute. Like, honestly, I'm really liking them a lot. And they literally just appeared talking to each other. Like, it's crazy.
I'm telling you, that it's there.
I'm a big fan of the chemistry there.
Then on a bench, Malk gives Day a drink. It looks like milk or something.
Dutch milk, sponsored by.
Yeah, sponsored milk. He drinks and he's like, oh, do you want to taste? And he's like, oh, should I? Because I don't want to cross the line. Oh, wait, we already did.
Oh, wait, we fully already did. He's like so excited. He's but I'm milking it. Like,
oh my god.
He's milking it.
Wow. But he does take a drink. And then this is where they're like, oh, what's going on over there?
I fully thought someone was so injured. I really did. I thought someone was dead.
Malk tells Day that Pla is proposing to On, and...
No, On is proposing to Pla.
Well, yeah, whatever. And Malk's like, hey, here, I'll act it out for you. So here's what he does. He gets down on one knee, he takes his hand, he holds it, he puts the ring on.
Oh my god. I fucking Christ. Okay, the first half of this, the first like 1/3 of this, I was like, fuck. Okay, what if people like turn around and like see you doing this and then go, another one? But it's another proposal. Let's go congratulate them. Like, I'm fucking worried. I was like stressed. Like the cringe level was going up. But then when I realized that wasn't gonna happen, it was just a moment between the two of them, I was like, oh, this is really fucking cute.
I don't know what I hate more. I don't know if I hate the fact that this was so sweet, or I hate the fact that I liked it so much.
I really liked it. It was really nice.
I was like, this is so fucking sweet. I hate it, but I also love it. Like, once the
stress was over, like halfway through it, I was like, oh my god, this is the cutest shit I've ever seen.
And so then, yeah, so everyone starts chanting kiss, 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 and Malk's like, oh, do you want us to do that part too?
Should I do that as well?
And he doesn't answer, so he's like, I'll take that as a yes.
Guess I'll do that.
He starts leaning in, but then...
No.
They says, why can't I see you anymore?
Oh no. The second he looked stressed, I was like, the fuck is going on? But he says, why can't I see you? I was like, no. I was like so upset. This episode got me, man.
Yeah. And that's the end of the episode.
No, Day. I have no idea now if he's gonna get the eye donation or not. Like, I still don't know.
So it's funny. Earlier in this episode, I would have said yes.
No, I don't know.
I was gonna say yes because I think the fact that Knight's going out of his way to take all these pictures for him now,
I thought that.
like, I'm like, okay, eventually he will need to get his vision back so he can see all these pictures that Knight's taking for him.
I thought that.
But after that, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
No, I'm not sure. By the way, there is an ad at the end. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I saw the Yoshi.
Okay.
I didn't see it till after I saw my recording. I was like, oh shit. And
Oh
I
shit! Yeah, it's
was like, oh well.
it's just an Oishiad.
Just an ad, nothing important.
Nothing. Just them being cute again. So MVP.
MVP.
For the love of fuck, we can't give it to
It's
Mom.
7 for 7.
Fuck.
I had to.
I don't know. Yeah.
I will say there was a close second. Like, Night was a close second this episode with all the
Yeah.
pictures they were taking. But there was one moment where it pushed over for me with Malk. And it was when he said, look, we are 50 meters away. When we get there, I'm going to ask you to be my boyfriend. That moment, I think, well, like, it pushed over. I was like, you know what? He was being bold.
Very
he was
bold.
being out there. He was laying all on the table. It was great. It was great.
I was literally for a second there going, well, if you're giving it to Mock, I'll give it to Night. And then you said the 50 meters. That's I was like, fuck, yeah, that's too good. So, yeah, Mock.
7 for 7, Marcus, for me.
Christ, this is worse than the last time this happened. What was it? What was it where you like, we can't keep giving it to this person? I feel like there was another one that kept happening. Oh, why are you? You're like, I can't keep giving it to.
Oh, I can't keep. I did manage to give it to people other than Joe at
you
certain
did,
times,
you did.
so.
But then you kept going, but Joe.
But Joe.
Okay, so grades.
Oh God.
Let's see how we did. There were 3 vibes. We have crossing the line. You said crossing the friend zone kind of line, which you were pretty much right about.
Yeah.
In sync. Not in sync, in sync.
NSYNC.
You got right because you said Mock and Day have to be like, they have to learn to be in sync, maybe with running and stuff like that. I was like, yeah.
Hey.
And don't tell me you're jealous. You got wrong. It was.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, it was what they were talking to each other about, him being jealous of August in the past, and you thought it was gonna be poor Jai talking about like something with someone. Yeah. So no, you got that wrong.
Damn it.
This next fucking promo did not give much for imagination. So there's 3, but I think you may get them right, which means that we could have our first 100%.
I might get the first 100%.
Damn, I'm so bad at this. I knew I wasn't gonna be the first to do it.
Because every week you're giving me 2 and I'm giving you 1, so I also have a more chance of.
Yeah, no.
So.
All right. Well,
okay.
We have 3. There are 3 vibes. We have the traditional beach trip.
Hey, Mark, and they are going to the beach getaway.
We have a wedding.
Oh, that's gonna be fucking on and Pla's wedding already? A wedding already? They just got engaged.
Maybe, I don't know. Could be someone else.
I don't think it's someone else. I think it's them. Okay. Maybe they're like eloping or something. I don't know.
Last but not least, we have deterioration.
What?
Deterioration.
Deterioration?
Yeah.
What's the definition? Deterioration? I want to make sure I'm thinking the right thing.
Well, what do you think it is? What do you think is deterioration?
Doesn't mean like destroying or something?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Is when something gets worse. Or slowly erodes. Or...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Something that erodes over time. Something that gets
I'm
worse.
assuming that's about Day's eyes.
Okay.
His vision. Based off the ending of this episode.
Alright, those are your vibes.
Okay. So, I guess that's it for Last Twilight episode 7.
Tis. I'm very excited for the next one.
Yes. I am too. We will see y'all next week for episode 8.